Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of TVG Talk. My name is Paco Trevino, and today, as always, I'm joined by Lauro Chapa.
Hey guys.
And today we'll be tackling a topic that we're kind of on a roll on in terms of our later videos, and today we'll be talking about a wish list. We'll be presenting you our wishes for guest characters for the upcoming Mortal Kombat 11. It's shaping up to be quite the gory and great fighting game, and we decided to talk about it. So, Lauro, I'd like to start with you. What fighting game guest do you have for Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat is very known for its guest characters that come from horror movies, and I think that this character is very iconic. His looks are pretty over the top. I'm talking about Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. I think that with that iconic look of his head covered with pins, that's already gory enough for Mortal Kombat. His body with this weird leather suit. So I feel he fits perfectly right in there in the universe. He can be as bloody as it gets with his attacks and different powers. So yeah, I think he would fit really good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that he could have like a pretty creative moveset. And yeah, he's very iconic, honestly, and very distinct. I think that they could do something really special with that character. And yeah, like you said, it's super gory, like from the outset.
Right.
He would probably remind me a little bit of Voldo, I think he's called, from Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
that kind of weird, kind of, sneaky look. I don't know how else to describe
Right.
it to keep things family friendly. But yeah, I mean it's quite the iconic character from a cult classic.
Yeah, I mean, I think in his movies they've given him all sorts of powers, like I think even magic and teleporting. He often uses chains and things like that, so I think he fits right in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that he fits right in. So, what do you say we move on to my first one?
Right.
My character, well, I'll start with another character from a movie, from a horror film. Talking about Michael Myers from the Halloween series.
Yeah.
Last year with the new sequel, I went kind of on a rabbit hole of Halloween movies. I saw a bunch of them. I had seen just the first two, I think, before that. But but you know, one of the things that came to mind was like, hey, he would be a cool guest for the next Mortal Kombat. So yeah, Michael Myers. I mean, there's always been the doubt whether or not he has superpowers. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Right.
Where, he supposedly is just this dude that is crazy, but then like, wait, what? He resisted a bullet or what? Is he powerful? Like,
Yeah, right.
he survived the fire? What? You know, so yeah, I think it would be a very, very interesting character because I think that he would lend himself to be very different from, say, Leatherface or Jason Voorhees in terms of the guest characters. So yeah, that's my pick. Michael Myers.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the sort of iconic horror movie characters, he's the one missing in Mortal Kombat, so I think that's a great addition.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he's the one missing. Like, if I would add another horror film icon in say Mortal Kombat 10, it would be Michael Myers, like no doubt.
Right.
So what's your next pick, dude?
So my next pick is another horror movie iconic character. It's the Ring Girl.
Oh.
This character reminds me kind of this character from Killer Instinct. I think she was DLC or something. She's kind of like Enchantress also from Injustice in the DC universe, of course.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, her powers, they could play with this abilities that she has, that she comes out of screens and sucks them into their world, things like that. I think they could really do interesting stuff with her moveset.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that they do have a lot of template with both Hisako and Enchantress, like you said. So it would be definitely interesting to see what they do with her with the screens stuff. Like maybe have a bunch of
Yeah.
CRTs in the arena or something. Like
Yeah.
to have her pop out of them. Yeah, I think that's actually a
Right.
very interesting choice. I didn't even think about her. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so my next pick is Alien. It's just like, hey, I would like it
Okay.
to come back. It's one of my favorite horror series. Well, it's actually probably my favorite horror
Right.
series. But yeah,
Nice.
Alien. It is a pretty cool character. I would like to see it come back. I mean, it's not super interesting. Just I would like to see it return.
Yeah, man. I think that when they added him and the Predator to last Mortal Kombat, I think that they were really interesting characters with their moveset, and we never see them too gory in the movies. I mean, I think more so Predator, but Alien not really that gory. I mean, for Mortal Kombat standards, so it's really fun seeing him here go crazy and do all these crazy bloody moves.
I mean, you kind of do, but not quite like in Mortal Kombat. Like you will see it like going through a dude, but maybe not like you see the guts afterwards or something. Like it's not quite like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see them unleashed. And well, what's your next pick?
So my next pick is one that's being asked a lot by the fans, and he has been actually teased by Ed Boon and whatnot. I'm talking about Spawn. Classic comic book character. The Mortal Kombat guys make Injustice also, so they got ties with superheroes right there. And yeah, I think that he's granted a spot in Mortal Kombat. He's very interesting character with lots of different powers. He heals himself, teleporting and shapeshift, and all this crazy stuff that they can do with him. I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Spawn is basically a god at this point. Like, I think that they literally made him into a god. I don't personally read Spawn, but that's what I've heard. Like, oh no, like he's pretty much invincible by this point. So, like, oh okay. So yeah, the repertoire is totally there, and Todd McFarlane seems to be on a mission to put Spawn into everything. So
Right.
So yeah, absolutely.
Plus, he's making a movie, so he would tie in into that.
Like they're making another movie. He's been in fighting games already, Soul Calibur. So
Right.
So yeah, it would be a pretty cool pick to see. Frankly.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, to be honest, I already also had him on my list. So.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that I'll move on to my next pick related to comic books.
Sure.
Which was Doomsday from DC.
Oh, nice.
I think that he's a pretty violent character, like very aggressive, and I think that it would be interesting to implement some of the powers that he's gotten through the years in the character moveset. Like
Yeah.
he does stuff that heroes can do, that villains can do. He's been doing all kinds of crazy stuff throughout the years, so. And it would be kind of neat if they were able to, like, put the reference that whenever he dies, he returns. Somewhere in his moveset, maybe when he, I don't know, is killed by an X-ray, that maybe he's able to, like, I don't know, resist that now, or has that now.
Yeah, maybe they could do it in between rounds. I mean, if he loses a round, maybe next time some of his moves are stronger or some of the enemies' moves hit weaker. Yeah, it will be very interesting if they can implement something like that.
Yeah, or if he had maybe like a special move from the enemy. Like I don't know
Hmm.
if Scorpion kills him or something. Like in the next round
Yeah,
he has a Scorpion's teleportation or the chain or something. Something like that.
I don't know. I mean, they could do it like sort of Kirby-like, right? Maybe in the first round, whichever one of his moves he doesn't have that one. Like I don't know, like up uh, kick or something, whatever. And then next round he gets a special move from the enemy. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they would do it. That there's people more knowledgeable than I am, but it would definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So who's your next pick?
Okay, my next pick is going to be a joke character. There's already been several joke characters in Mortal Kombat, but I really don't like them. There's been Boraicho, which is just a fat Asian dude that vomits and is drunk all the time. And there's been also Mocap, which is just a motion capture artist. Uh, but now I'm choosing someone who is already like a joke, um, but also an iconic character, and I'm talking about Ghostface from the movies Scream. I think that he would be a really fun joke character, rather, because I think Mortal Kombat doesn't have fun joke characters. He could do all sorts of things. Maybe hit you with things that you maybe would think that wouldn't do lots of damage or wouldn't cut you, wouldn't be like bloody or gory, but they of course would do something like that in Mortal Kombat. Maybe they could implement something with him calling you to the phone in his X-ray or something like that. I think he would be really interesting.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I thought about picking him, but I didn't consider like, hey, maybe as a joke character it would work really well. So
Mhm.
yeah, I totally agree with you. It would be a very interesting character to see. In terms of movie characters, or I guess horror movie characters, I think that he would be fairly different in terms of tone. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
right.
And I think it's my last pick. Let's see.
Sure.
Yeah, it's my last pick. It would be Mad Max. My
Oh,
reasoning
nice.
behind it is that Warner Brothers made the game, and I think that they have the rights to the character. And Mad Max is frankly a really cool series.
Yeah.
And the series does get kind of gory as they go along and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I think that he would be very interesting and very unique in terms of what he does, and aesthetically, like he would bring something really different and unique to the table. And I really like the look, this post-apocalyptic, desert look. So yeah, I think that it would be pretty cool, and you could do all sorts of things with those spiky cars and weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when thinking about movie characters, I like kind of only think of horror themes because of the things they've been adding. But that's not necessarily a rule. They could go for anything really, and I think that Mad Max is a character that would fit just perfectly right in. And yeah, I would love to see this implemented.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that I kind of went on a different side, like I sidetracked a little bit there, but
Hmm.
I think that he is gory. I think that that's almost more
Yeah,
important than being from a horror movie.
right.
And it would be fairly easy in a sense. I know that it's not easy to implement these characters, but compared to other stuff out there, I think that he's more primed for that.
Sure.
Uh, do you have another pick? Am I correct?
Yeah, it's my last pick.
Okay, so go ahead.
So my last pick is going to be a character that was already pretty iconic, but was recently resurrected. and his second movie is coming out, I think 2020 or maybe this year. I don't remember. It's Pennywise. I think that Pennywise is a really fun and gory character. He has all these different powers and transformations he could do. Of course he's this funny clown on the outside, but then he could turn into these different monsters that he turns into, or even inanimate objects. I mean, they could do something fun with the X-ray or the fatality, him dragging someone into a sewer or making them float, him dancing and maybe that making the other characters go crazy. I don't know, something with the balloons. There's a lot of things to do with this character, and I think that he's cemented himself as an iconic horror movie character.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool pick. You know, the movie that came out, I think, 2 years ago by this point, was really, really good. Honestly. And like you said, the sequel's coming up, you know. Everything seems to be on the right track. And, you know, if there's some crazy character with a lot of stuff to pull from, are Stephen King characters, man, honestly. You know?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, like he could turn into the spider thing. And, you know, I really hope that either for his X-ray or a fatality, they do the dance thing. You know, right. The one where he looked weird.
Yeah, I mean, they could even recreate that, because in the movie they do this weird trick with the cameras and effects or whatnot that looks really, you know, creepy, just very different, and it would be really cool to see that in game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's probably one of my favorite picks on this list, honestly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool pick. So, do you have anything else that you would like to say about these picks, or something about Mortal Kombat 11?
Well, I just hope that they do include guest characters, because that has been some of the most fun characters late in the latest Mortal Kombats, and I think people are expecting them to come back in this game and to see what other new characters they have.
Yeah, I think it's a given. I think it's a given that we are going to get guest characters for this game. Ever since Freddy Krueger appeared on Mortal Kombat, I think that the game changed, literally.
Yeah.
You know, and Kratos and everyone that appeared on 9, I don't even remember who else popped in. But yeah, and on X they seem to have double dipped on that, so I think it's very, very, very interesting. I think it's a given. I think it's just a matter of who is appearing here.
Yeah, right.
So, thank you so much, guys, for listening to this discussion. This has been Paco Treviño, and today I was joined by Laura Chapa.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Until next time, bye-bye, guys.